Week 15 in the books. We way over here because I'm not suited and booted yet, but we about to figure this thing out and get it broke down. Let's get it. Yeah, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We back, baby. Appreciate you. Now, appreciate you now. Mine first, cause I won. There we go. Gotta do it all the way. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, suited and booted. Y'all know I got exposed the gold on y'all ass. I don't know. Listen. Let's rant about something crazy for a second. I don't know that I could just, like, this looked too plain to me. Like, that looks like, I look like a podcaster. Don't get me wrong. Like, the mic is there, the headphones to set up, all that. But this mother right here, though, I don't know nobody else who got a gold mic. I'm just saying I'm trying to be different out here. You dig me? Anyways, back in this thing, y'all clap it up one time. The Bulldogs didn't play, so they couldn't let me down or get me hype. I don't want to talk about the Falcons because I knew that once they were mathematically eliminated from the equation, that they would start winning games. And they played Tampa Bay, and that seems to be the only team that Kirk Cousins knows how to play football against. And so there's that, and we'll leave that there. Because did you see how that boy looked against the Seahawks? Or anybody that's not Tampa Bay? Let's talk about it. First game of the season, he was a starter. He looked good. I'm just saying. So the Falcons are who we thought they were. I have to shout out my friends for trying to get me to keep my head on straight when I was shooting for the stars early in the season. But what's done is done. We came to talk about fantasy. Y'all clap it up. We back in this thing. We back. Baby, and we gonna get right into it. I say about 3 minutes and 15 seconds in, it's time to get it in. And y'all know where we about to go. Right to those. Wait for the echo. Platform. There's the echo. You hear it one time. Superstars. Ladies and gentlemen, I need a certain young man to walk to the front of the congregation. We need to have a conversation with you, my boy, Trevor. Because your other standard scoring leagues are not friendly to quarterbacks, he would be on the top of every list if he was Josh Allen. He's not Josh Allen, and Kyle Pitts scored 45 fantasy points. So, like, it's I don't know what's more funny, me telling you guys that Trevor Lawrence is not Josh Allen, or me telling you that Kyle Pitts scored 45 fantasy points. Most fantasy points of his career, by the way. So he's on top of one of the lists. But today is about that boy Trevor. Y'all clap it up for that boy Trevor. Trevor Lawrence on the hot seat for you, boy. I ain't gonna cap. So I'm gonna do a little bit of celebrating with my dog today. I'm gonna celebrate with my dog today. He deserves it. He went out there. He balled out. You know what I'm saying? I can't take it away from him. Y'all know where we going first. That is the Sleeper app. If you are new to the podcast, where that boy Trevor, clap it up for that young man, to the tune of 20 of 32, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 carries, 51 yards. Another tutty in this thing. Trevi, well, you came outside to play and you did big work. Talking about big back energy. He carried the whole team on 5 touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns. Is crazy work. Kind of sucks because Jacoby Myers didn't get any of those passing touchdowns, but BTJ did. And that's okay because when the season started, they both weren't on the same team, but they both were on my fantasy team, and now they're on the same team. Against the Jets, you can start everybody. That's what that tells me about Jacksonville. Jacksonville's not bad, but the Jets are pretty trash. Trevor Lawrence threw 5 touchdowns. I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is trash. I'm happy for the performance. Appreciate that, my boy. But it's looking bad over there in New York. Anyway, that's Trevor Lawrence. Kyle Pitts. We're going to talk about Kyle Pitts because I have to, because he's on this list. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring up a Falcon for the rest of my life until next football season. To the tune of 11 of 12 on catches. That's 12 targets. By the way, no big deal. He was losing a lot of that game. I also think that when Drizzy come back, that's going to take a little bit away from old Kyle Pitts because if there's anybody in this particular team that Kirk Cousins loves more than Kyle Pitts, it's Drake London. So we will see what happens when that boy Drizzy step back on the field. And they're still trying to get him to do that this year, even though we're mathematically eliminated. He should just rest. It's just me. Never mind it. Amon-Ra St. Sun God. Appreciate that, my boy Ski. Clap it up for that young man. Amon-Ra had 18 targets. It's easy to end up on this list if they're throwing at you 18 times. You ain't even got to catch 8. You could go 9 of 18 as far as targets go. You still have a good day. But never mind the fact he caught 13 of them. For 164 yards and 2 tutties in this thing. Saint Sun Gods do what Saint Sun Gods do. You know what time it is. That's why I call him that. Also, that's his name. Trey McBride. Clap it up for that young man. So in one of my consolation brackets, I had Kyle Pitts on the bench. And everybody's like, well, how can you put Kyle Pitts on the bench? See Trey McBride. That is why. That is how I can do that. And that is why I did that. So, to the tune of 12 catches, 13 targets, 134 yards, 2 tutties in this thing. Stat line not as good as Kyle Pitts this week, but he tied in 1. And it's not even close. So, let's start there. We are on the Sleeper app. You see the minus sign next to that boy, Bo Nix. That is Auburn's finest. College Bo Nix is always going to have a sour taste in my heart for the simple fact that he went to Auburn and he wasn't very good. All of a sudden, he get drafted in the first round because he go over there to where he went, Oregon. And it's less competitive on defense over there. But another story for another day. In the NFL, he's doing his thing on my dynasty team to the tune of 23-34, 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 carries, 10 yards in this thing to the tune of 37.08 fantasy points. Appreciate ya. That is the dynasty special. We will slide right over. Y'all know I gotta do it because the last time doing it, y'all know where we at. Y'all know what we doing. Down here where I stay, they be like, you know what going on. Where Kyle Pitts. It still makes me laugh. Like, where the fuck have you been all year, my boyski? Where have you been all my life? You heard the stats. I'm going to read them again because I like to read them again to the tune of 11 catches, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns in this thing. 45.6 fantasy points. Appreciate ya. See the minus sign. I told you he was on my team. I didn't start him, but he on my team. Also, Trevor Lawrence. See, they flip-flopped on this list. This is the only list where they flip-flopped. You see Travis Etienne snuck down on the bottom down there because not friendly to quarterbacks. And Travis Etienne had 3 receiving touchdowns. We'll get to that. Trevor Lawrence, the tune of 20 of 32, 330 yards, 5 tutties in this thing, 5 carries, 51 yards, another tutty in this thing. 44.3 fantasy points. Appreciate that, Trevor, my boy. Amon-Ra St. Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 13 catches, 164 yards, 2 tutties in this thing. 18 targets for 41.4 fantasy points. Appreciate ya. You see that boy Trey McBride. There's nothing next to his name because he is on the can't drop list he on my team. So I got 2 players in the top 5 right here. Appreciate you. I knew the OG special was gonna pop off once I was mathematically eliminated. I had a shot, but it was a long shot, and we finna snap. Every time I've ended up in this bracket, I'm undefeated in the consolation bracket in the history of me being in this league. That's 3 games every year. I've been in this league for 3 years. Now I'm 7-0 in the consolation bracket. Undefeated. I'm probably gonna lose this week because I said it out loud, but that's okay. 12 catches, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns in this thing on 13 targets, 37.4 fantasy points. Appreciate you, Trey McBride. And lastly, but not leastly, Travis Etienne. I get to read these stats for the first time to the tune of he didn't run that good. 12 carries for 32 yards. That's not even 3 yards a carry. But when you have 3 catches for 73 yards and all 3 of those catches make it to the end zone, that's a great day at the office for that young man. 3 catches, 73 yards, 3 touchdowns, only on 4 targets. So he had 12 carries, 4 targets, that's 16 opportunities, and he went off. And Bayshell Tootin just got hurt. It's about to get even better for Travis Etienne. If you're in the playoffs with Travis Etienne, you're sitting pretty right now. And I would say that I envy you. But we're about to jump over here to this other side. That is the OG special. We'll slide right on over to the main squeeze. Love me, please. The old Savage Every Dude for you Booski Dude, aka the main league, the league of record, where Trevor Lawrence. Oh, there we go. Trevor, my boy, ski. To the tune of 49.5 fantasy points over here. Appreciate that. Like the man scored, he scored 54 in the dynasty. I didn't even say that, like, because you know everything's worth what it's supposed to. 6 points for a touchdown, people. When you score 5 touchdowns, that's 2, 4, 6, that's 10 more points. He scored 44 in the OG special. He scored 49 over here. He scored 54 in the dynasty. One more time, 20, 32, 330 yards, 5 tutties, 5 carries, 51 yards, another tutty in this thing, 49.5 fantasy points over here. Appreciate ya. Kyle Pitts. He's still number 2 on the list, but we are friendly to the runners over here. And so, 35.1 fantasy points, 11 carries, 166 yards, 3 tutties in this thing. Appreciate ya. Auburn's finest. That is Bo Nix. That is what I call him. That is 34.0 fantasy points, 23, 34, 302 yards, 4 tutties in this thing. Don't forget about the 7 carries. Don't forget about the 10 yards. That equals 1.7 fantasy points extra over here. And that boy, Travion. Travion was number 7 on the OG special. He's a running back. I'm not that friendly. Over here, we love running backs. To the tune of, since it's his first time on the list, 14 carries, 148 yards, 2 tutties in this thing, 2 catches, 13 yards. The man didn't really do nothing on the ground. I mean, in the air. It's all groundwork. And I love running backs like that. That is Nick Chubb. That is my definition of a running back that just comes out and lays groundwork. And it's Nick Chubb. Appreciate that, Travion, my boy. And lastly, but not leastly, let James Cook. Appreciate you. Oh, by the way, no big deal. He went to Georgia. To the tune of 22 carries, 170 yards, 2 tutties, 2 catches, 4 yards, another tutty, and 2 catches for 4 yards. That's laying groundwork, but he had a touchdown in the air in this thing. To the tune of 30.4 fantasy points. Appreciate you, James Cook. Let James cook. That is your platform superstars. Y'all give it up for the platform superstars. Right into the old lockdown special where, you know, my threshold is 10 points for everybody. The cutoff is double digits. If you get 9.9, you got put on lockdown. And y'all know how I do. I do not make a list. I just slide through. Appreciate you. And here we go. I'm on my own team right now. That is Tedderoi McMillan. 2 catches, 25 yards, lockdown. That Browns defense got lit up by Chicago. I went on. That Jets defense got even more lit up by the Jaguars. Deebo Samuel, 3 catches, 43 yards, lockdown. Breece Hall been on lockdown for approximately 2 weeks in a row now. That is 23 yards. That is 5.7 fantasy points. That is 2 catches. That is locked down for Brees Hall. Bucky Irving against that Falcons run defense. How many times I gotta say it? That's one thing we did right. Also, second in the NFL in sacks, by the way. Appreciate that, the Atlanta Falcons. If only y'all was doing enough on offense. And I don't know what they doing back then in the secondary, because AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates and them boys should be better than that. But we're real bad against the pass right now. Another story for another day. Anyways, Bucky Irving locked down. Slide down here. Omarion Hampton, 7.5 fantasy points. That's locked down. That is only 1 catch. 61 yards rushing. Romeo Dobbs, 2 catches, 36 yards, locked down. Emmanuel Wilson is not a starter. Tyler Arjula is also not a starter. Emeka Egbuka barely made it. Both of the Jaguars wide receivers that I have went over double-digit fantasy points. I actually had a really good week over here in the OG special. Let's see here. Hunter Henry, 1 catch, 18 yards, locked down. That Cowboys defense got lit up by J.J. McCarthy and them boys. Jordan Addison, 2 catches, 66 yards. That's locked down. Jamari DK, 4 catches, 17 yards. That is also locked down. Tajay Spears, 34 yards. Tony Pollard went off. That's locked down. I don't know what you want me to say. It is locked down for that young man. Hurt. The computer team over in the OG special is loaded. Shout out to my dog Jeremiah, scored 174 fantasy points this week. Appreciate ya. He had Trevor, he had Saquon, he had Josh Jacobs, he had JSN, he had J-Mo. That Bears defense and Wandale. When Trevor come through, he come through. Just saying. With all that being said, Mark Andrews, 2 catches, 18 yards, locked down. That was the only bad spot in his lineup. To the tune of 174.6 fantasy points for my dog. Appreciate you. Stephon Diggs, 3 catches, 26 yards, locked down. Ooh. Darnell Mooney, 3 catches, 35 yards, locked down. Lockdown. Kobe Parkinson. Jaylen Warren, 7.8 fantasy points. That is lockdown. Chuba, back to earth. Second running back. Michael Pittman, 3 catches, 26 yards. Lockdown. Excuse me. Quentin Johnston, goose egg. He played. He didn't play. Just kidding. Kamani Vidal, 5.6 fantasy points. 5.8 fantasy points, 33 yards. Catch a 2, lockdown. Devin Singletary. I was counting on that in the Dynasty special. Lockdown. Let's see here. Quinshon Judkins, bad day at the office. 4.7 fantasy points, lockdown. Jalen Waddle, 2 catches, 26 yards. Also lockdown. Cooper Kupp, you almost made it, but you didn't, my boy. 5 catches, 46 yards. Lockdown. Jake Ferguson, 2 catches, 16 yards. Also lockdown. Pila. In the semis. My division is standing up right now. I had 3 teams in my division make the playoffs. I was the only one that didn't. Appreciate you. One of them is out because it lost 170 points. Isaiah Pacheco, not startable. That's why I dropped him. Did Keon play? He did not play. It doesn't look like he played. And the Patriots game, no stats. 0 catches. That's lockdown. Anyways. Juwan Johnson, 4 catches, 30 yards, lockdown. Yep, that makes sense. Poor Patrick Mahomes. We'll get to that on the news and notes segment and after this commercial break. George Pickens, 3 catches, 33 yards, lockdown. Tyler Warren, 3 catches, 19 yards, lockdown. Aaron Jones Sr., almost but not quite, 9.5 fantasy points. That is lockdown. That 49ers defense got lit up by Tennessee. Yeah, that's what happened there. Kareem Hunt, also lockdown. There's no starting running backs in the Kansas City backfield. Parker Washington, P. Dubsky, 3 catches, 53 yards, almost but not quite, my boy. That's lockdown. That Buccaneers defense got lit up by the Falcons because Kirk Cousins. Jahmyr Gibbs, 9.8 fantasy points. That is lockdown. Justin Jefferson, once again on lockdown list. I might have to bench him. It's hard to say that out loud, but then J.J. McCarthy popped off. Brock Bowers, 6 catches, 28 yards. That's lockdown. That Rams defense got lit up by the Lions. It's time to flex Blake Corum. Public service announcement. That Patriots defense got lit up by the Bills. Appreciate that. Shador, 177 and 3 interceptions. That's lockdown, my boy ski. Joe Burrow. That boy's so locked down this week. That boy Joe so cold, but he's so locked down this week. Calvin Ungot, back to earth. DeAndre Swift show this week. Lockdown. David Montgomery, lockdown with a touchdown. 9.2 fantasy points equals lockdown. Keenan out that the Chargers receiving core. Outside of Ladd McConkey. Lockdown. Rashad White, back to earth. Lockdown. 3.6 fantasy points. Bam Knight got hurt, not counted. Jaden Higgins, 1 catch, 4 yards, lockdown. Ashton Jeanty, 8.2 fantasy points, 35 yards rushing, lockdown. Ladd McConkey, 2 catches, 20 yards, lockdown. Love that. I just say he was doing good, and he's on lockdown this week. I think I might be to the end. Oh no, I got one more team. Don't see anything over here. The Colts defense got lit up by the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense did not quite get lit up by the Colts in the same manner. Dalton Kincaid, 6.4 fantasy points, lockdown. Ken Walker III, 17 yards rushing, that's lockdown. Devontae Smith, 2 catches, 50 yards, lockdown. Christian Watson got hurt. Brenton Strange, 1 catch, 26 yards, that's lockdown. Evan Ingram, 1 catch, 12 yards, that's lockdown. Alec Pierce, 1 catch, 16 yards, that is lockdown. Tez Johnson, catchless. That is your lockdown list. Y'all give it up for the lockdown. Oh, wrong one. Y'all give it up for the lockdown. And it is time for that first break. So we will return right after this short break and a word from your local sponsor. All right, we back, baby. And we about to get right into it. It is news and notes time. Patrick Mahomes. Oh man, Patty Macaroni. He's out of here for the season. Real fast, let's talk about this. We want to talk about some more etiquette. If for you losers, respectfully, of course, that are celebrating the fact that Patrick Mahomes got hurt, like, cool, they not in the playoffs. I understand that. But let's address the elephant in the room real fast. Y'all really out here praying on people's downfall? The man just good at what he do. Stop acting like that. We taught y'all better than that. Do better. Do better. The man hurt. ACL, all this type of stuff. Be better, people. Be better. You're on the field crying and shit. I mean stuff. But whatever. Neither here nor there. But yeah, Patty Macaroni out of here for the season. Torn ACL. He's held up pretty good for a while. I get the feeling that his recovery will be a little bit smoother than most people's. He's got practice on how to take care of his body now, the way it go for him and all that. So we wish you a speedy recovery, my boy Patty Macaroni. I'm sad I ain't gonna be able to say your name on that myth for a while, but speedy recovery, my guy. Woody Marks. They said Woody Marks could have came back in the game. Got a little tweak in his ankle or whatever. If the game was close or not in hand or something like that, then he probably would have came back in the game. But he didn't need to come back in the game. Like, he didn't need to come back in the game. So he didn't come back in the game. We'll see how that goes for the rest of the week as far as his preparation and play or whatever the case may be. Devontae Adams. We might lose Devontae Adams for the rest of the year. He's probably not going to play on Thursday. That's a Thursday game. And he went down on the field. It was bad. It looked bad. I'll say it looked bad. I don't want to say it was bad, but it looked bad. So keep your eyes peeled on for how long we might be without good old Devontae. Chris Rodriguez didn't play. It is a growing issue. He was limited all week. Came in questionable. I guess it didn't go right in pregame warm-up. So we'll see what happened this week. Josh Jacobs been playing hurt since week 11. Literally the first time that I used him, he got hurt in that game. I told you guys the story of when I first got him. It was 4 minutes. 4 minutes after he was on my roster, I went and got Emmanuel Wilson, who's also been nicked up. So, like, it could go deep over there. Chris Brooks. They've had their share of running back problems, too. Like, Marshawn Lloyd was supposed to be something. He's been hurt. But, yeah. Josh Jacobs been hurt, but he's been hurt but playing. So, there's that. Quentin Johnston, we will wait to see what the updates say on that young man. Everybody got a groin injury. It's late in the year. Those shouldn't be going around like that. We just talked about Patrick Mahomes. There's always one that I can just like talk about right off the top of the head without having to dig into anything. Like Devin Neal, right after Kamara has been out for 3 weeks, he tweaked his hamstring and did not return to the game. We will keep our eyes peeled on that because he's been a nice little running back start for when Kamara hasn't been playing. Excuse me. And so, like, we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. Marv. They still want Marvin Harrison to come back this year. I don't know why. The Cardinals are out of the playoffs. I wouldn't do it. That's just me, though. It's not my team. My fantasy team's over here. If they put him on the field, y'all probably gonna put him in y'all lineups. So, there you go. Let's see here now then. Just as I'm sitting here right now going through, Bam Knight for the Arizona Cardinals just got put on injury reserve. That was 33 minutes ago. It is mid-afternoon on a Tuesday. Yeah. He is on the IR. I may go and try and get like Michael Carter or something because he's probably sitting out there. Do I need him? No. Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Blake Corum, Kamani Vidal, Chuba Hubbard, and Emmanuel Wilson all on the bench. But Bijan, Josh Jacobs been starting, of course. But yeah, that's right now on IR. Cade Otton he didn't play Thursday. They had a long week to rest. We'll see what he do. Garrett Wilson. I don't know if Garrett Wilson's coming back to work. They need to stop teasing us like that. He's not coming back to work. I gave up on Alvin Kamara. I dropped him. I traded for Harold Fannin, and Harold Fannin, the winning side of that trade. I knew that going in though, but I love the Saints' schedule, so I was like, I gotta at least give it a run. You know, Devin Neal pulling up, got 16 last week. Top 10 Drizzy, aka Drake London. They said that they're hopeful that he comes back, which I also don't know why, because they're out of playoff contention. I would sit down. It's just me though. T. Higgins, he did not play last week for concussion reasons. We will see if he comes back to work this week. Christian Watson, once again, another one that I'm sad about. The man just came back and he's doing work. And he's doing work, right? And the injury happens. Sad. I'm sad for all the injured players, man. Like, just want to do what you love and you can't be out there. Michael Carter is picked up in this league. That, as far as I can see right here, let me go to the main thing down here. What else? Buzz. Go down to the buzz. Tua might get benched. Yep, we talked about Devontae Adams. We talked about Patrick Mahomes. Jaden Daniels is shut down for the rest of the year. Joe Burrow is playing it through. So, yeah. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers. Let's talk about Phillip Rivers. I love that. Like, you don't want to see it, but it's happening. That young man is doing his thizzle. And we appreciate you for pulling back up to the party. Big Phil. P. Rivers. You know what I'm saying? The old talking extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? I'm messaging my wife back right in front of y'all real fast. Yep, right in front of y'all, because I can't let these messages go without getting there. She out the country right now, so we on different time schedules. I got to keep up. I should have filmed earlier. That's on me. Don't tell nobody. But yeah. That is your news and notes for the day, and we will jump right into, for all the situations where, you know, platform superstars. Kyle Pitts is a surprise anchor today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and clap it up for him right now. No one expected Kyle Pitts to score 40 fantasy points this week, and then he did. Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is bad. I'm just saying Trevor Lawrence surprised us, because you didn't expect Trevor Lawrence to score 40-something and even 50-something in some other fantasy leagues points. Did you? No, you didn't. That's okay. He did it. Appreciate that. Young man. Slide through here. Nope. And everything looks normal. It all looks normal. Jacoby Brissett. At this point, Jacoby Brissett is the only quarterback to have a top 12 week against the most dominant defense in the NFL right now. That's the Houston Texans. Appreciate that. He hasn't had a week outside the top 12 since he became the official starter. Let me say that again. He hasn't had a week outside the top 12 since he became a starter. If you got Jacoby Brissett on your fantasy team and you're not starting him, you're not trying to win. I'm just going right there for the record. If you got Jacoby Brissett on your fantasy team and you're not starting him, you're not trying to win. Man's scoring on everybody. It's Arizona's terrible defense that puts them in these situations, but they can't stop Jacoby from getting these points. So it's not a surprise, but I drove past his name and I had to say something because, listen, if you're not starting that man by now, like I said, you do not want to win. You don't want to win. That's all I'm saying. Colby Parkinson. That is Colby Parkinson, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2 weeks in a row now. 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. It's not a surprise after this. If he on lockdown next week, then he can come back and be on the surprise list. But as far as right now, Colby, boy, hooping. Let's see here. It's not a surprise. I don't see any surprises. Nope, and nope. Down here, nope, no surprises. Nope. Let me see what number he is. Dalton Schultz. I'll give Dalton Schultz a little surprise anchor if you started him. He's on benches from what I can see, but the man showed up and showed out yesterday. Sunday. It's Tuesday. I'm looking through here. I don't see too much. Devin Neal. Thank you, Devin Neal. Pulling up to the party. Appreciate ya. JJ McCarthy, 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. That's 2 times in a row? Yep, 20 points and 23 points. And he threw to wide receivers this week. Watch out now. Now he got me nervous about sitting Justin Jefferson in the Dynasty special. But I'm probably going to do it because I need these points. He ain't scoring nothing over here. Oh, man. Darn it. DJ Moore. Roma Doomsday's hurt. Luther Burden is going to be on the injury report. DJ Moore to the moon. You heard it here first. I don't see any other surprise anchors. Nothing else is a surprise. Nothing that I can see anyway. You guys have been watching for a while now. If I leave off somebody who helped you win, shoot me the comments. Like, y'all help me. I'm a human. I'm not going to get it all. I got a system that I use because it's comfortable for me and it works, but I don't get everything. I'm not super analyst. I'm not the super analyst over here. I just read what they tell me and go off of that. So, but that's your surprise anchors. I built up for the surprise anchors. And since I got time, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze them lineups in right now so y'all can know who's rocking with the crew and they love the crew. I know I'm going to have my button make sure. I keep telling you guys. That is a sleeper app if you're new to the platform. And Northeast Drizzy. I can't find it in my heart to take Drake May out the lineup. I can't do it. So, Drake May, all day, baby. Lower this a little bit so I can read the whole thing. There you go. Devin Singletary and Keaton Mitchell still locked in. I have no running backs. This is why I'm not in the playoffs. This is how this goes. Yeah. So I'm rocking with it says Keaton Mitchell is out. If Keaton Mitchell's out, then I'll probably put in Jaleel McLaughlin or Tank Bixby. It's the consolation bracket, so I'm really shooting for that number 1 pick, but I got to start a lineup every week. So maybe I should bench Justin Jefferson. If he go off on the bench when I'm trying to get that number 1 pick, I don't care. I still got all my picks, so if I win the number 1 pick, I get the number 1 pick. So I went through the season without trading nothing. I had a wagon of a team, like real fast. Y'all see my IR? Dick, Cam Scatterbo. Who else is in it? Kyler Murray, Garrett Wilson, IR. On the bench, Trey Benson, because I don't have enough IR room. It's bad over here. Trey Benson and Cam Scatterbo, I lost them both. And I had James Conner before that. I lost 3 running backs to IR this year. So, when you think you had a bad season in fantasy, remember, you didn't lose all your running backs. And they were stingy. They didn't want to give me no running backs. They saw what I had going on over here. Anyways, Justin Jefferson might be on the bench. I got Parker Washington on the bench, who's been scoring more. I also have Keenan Allen on the bench. Keenan Allen has been scoring bad, but scoring more than Justin Jefferson. These are the type of bad dilemmas that I have over here. Yeah. So Michael Wilson locked in until next year. Locked in. My problem is, so you want to start a lineup and try and get the first place or the first pick, but you got to lose. And I don't like losing. So it's a conflict of interest for your boy. But yeah. Brock Bowers, the alien, locked in. Luther Burden, you might be locked in too, my boyski. It says that you might be starting, or it says that you might be playing. But I heard you got nicked up. But and y'all know the defensive positions. Tyke Smith was out last week. They're not looking at defense like I'm looking at defense. I'm probably gonna go get that boy back because I like Tyke. I want him on my team. Also, he went to Georgia. Appreciate that. No big deal. I get my dips and my dubs. My defensive players are locked in. Brian Burns, you know the vibes. Second or third in the league in sacks, like type-ish. Ernest Jones, big vibes. What number are you? All the way back up to 12 from 20-something after 2 weeks. That boy Ernest Jones is real. On that Seahawks defense, which is also top 5 in the NFL. Geno Stone was for the pickup for Tyke Smith, but Tyke will probably be back. And that is my lineup for the Dynasty Special. We will slide right on over to the old OG Special where... Yes, Sirski. I got 3 Panthers in my lineup. Don't care. I scored a lot of points this week. I told y'all I was going to get Bryce Young. You see him. I lost Danny Dimes, Danny Caruso, Indiana Dimes. I lost him for the year. You know, he was doing good. We was talking about Daniel Jones in a conversation for MVP. Y'all don't want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But that's neither here nor there anymore because it's over for that young man. Bryce Young locked in. He has great matchups for the rest of the year. So we're not going to take him out. I have a running back conundrum over here because I have Rico, I have Travion, I have Woody Marks, I have Amarian Hampton. I'm going to leave that question for y'all. Which 3 running backs should I start? I got Rico, Travion, Woody Marks, and Amarian Hampton. I'm tossing up between all of them right now. You see who I got in the lineup currently. Teddy McMillan and Jacoby Myers locked in. They play the Buccaneers coming up, who have been struggling against the pass. That is the Panthers, who I'm talking about. The Jaguars play Denver. We're about to learn a lot about the Jaguars this week. Shout out to Trevor, but we're about to learn a lot about you, my boy. Trey McBride locked in. No big deal. Yep, you know the vibes. And that Saints defense against the Jets, that was a pickup play from a few weeks back. I tossed around with it for a little bit. And kickers be kicking, but when the kicker that you say their name, Chris Boswell, appreciate ya. That is the OG Special. We will slide on over to the Savage Ever Duke for Yabuski Duke, the main thing, the number one nearest and dearest. And wait. There we go. Lamar, locked in. This gonna be quick. Bijan, locked in. Ain't nothing to talk about. Josh Jacobs, locked in. JSN, locked in. No big deal. T. Higgins is back. You see him in the flex. If he don't play, I already got Jaden Reed up there. I'm probably going to put a running back in the flex and move T. Higgins up. I just got him in the flex because I'm not sure if he's going to play. And I need to know because Jaden Reed plays on Saturday. Yeah, need to know. But Hunter Henry, locked in. Isaiah Likely, I think I might be done. The matchup's too good. I like the stack with Lamar, but I think I might be done. That Chiefs defense against the Titans this week, That Seahawks defense against Carolina next week. That Chiefs defense against the Raiders in week 18. That's my stack for my playoff stack for my receivers. And kickers be kicking, but when they kick like that, you say their name, Chris Boswell. Appreciate ya. Those are your lineups. And so I'm gonna take these last 2 minutes because I don't really got a rant. I'm stuck on the playoff etiquette because it's playoff season. I told y'all how to move. If you didn't catch it on the last week episode, go back and look. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I'm gonna say playoff etiquette. If you're not in the playoffs, in my leagues, because there's money on the line, you got to respect the playoff team. Oh, you don't have to respect the playoff teams. I respect the playoff teams. I don't be out there on the... Now, after the waivers clear, it's a free for all. You left it out there for me. So if you don't get it, I'm going to get it because I still want to get these points. But I say that to say this. Respect your playoff teams. Congratulations to all the people. Congratulations to all the people that made the playoffs. It was your time to shine, and you did just that. Appreciate that. I am one of you. Let's talk about how I dominated again this year in the Savvy League. 12-3. I finished the season on a 5-game winning streak. I had another 6-game winning streak in the middle of the year. We looking good. Lamar was down for a little bit. I replaced that with Danny Dimes. We was looking pretty nice. So, but we got that 1 seed. We chilling this week. We on bye. My league goes all the way to week 18. Sue me. Step your game up. Get your backups ready. So if you had your handcuffs. This is my plug. Handcuffs. People say that they don't like fantasy leagues going to week 18. If you have your handcuffs, you could be just fine in week 18. My dog Jen last year, shout out to Jen, defending champ, back in the playoffs, by the way. Scored 130 points in week 18 because she had her handcuffs. So if I'm sitting here right now and the Rams decide to rest their starters, Blake Corum is the starter. I have him on my bench. If the Packers decide to rest their starters, Emmanuel Wilson becomes a starter. I have him on my bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bijan and them, I don't know if they're going to have to go through that. But that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like, handcuff your people. You know? Like, if they're injury prone, handcuffs. And then in week 18, you can use your handcuffs. We will have a longer rant about fantasy leagues going into week 18 next week. I'm going to jump off that train right now. I could go on the whole thing about the skill of performing in week 18. But that is the end for the week. The videos are probably going to get shorter because playoff season is here. So I'm going to be focused more so on the playoff teams, and I only got one this year. But I love you guys. Thank you for pulling up to the party. Same time next week. Y'all know how we get down. I'll tell y'all next week about what's going to be happening the week after that because I got family plans coming up. Appreciate y'all pulling up to the party. I love y'all. We back in this thing. Hey.